இது HD கனடாவின் இன்றைய முக்கிய செய்திகள். இலங்கை செய்திகள்.
நாடு எதிர்கொண்டுள்ள கடன் நெருக்கடியை தீர்க்க விரிவான மூலோபாய திட்டம் நல்லிணக்க முயற்சிகள் தொடர்ந்து முன்னெடுக்கப்படும். ஐடியோ மாநாட்டுடன் இணைந்ததாக கனடாவின் முன்னாள் பிரதமர் ஸ்டீபன் ஹாப்பருடன் நடைபெற்ற நேர்காணலில் ஜனாதிபதி தெரிவிப்பு. இலங்கையில் கடன் நெருக்கடியை தீர்க்கும் வகையில் கடன் மறுசீரமைப்பு நடவடிக்கையை செப்டம்பர் மாதத்துடன் முடிவுக்கு கொண்டு வருவதற்கு திட்டமிட்டுள்ளதாக ஜனாதிபதி ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க தெரிவித்தார். பாராளுமன்றத்தின் ஒத்துழைப்புடன் நாடு தற்போது எதிர்கொள்ளும் கடன் சுமையை தீர்ப்பதற்கான விரிவான மூலோபாய திட்டத்தை வகுப்பதாகவும், கடன் மறுசீரமைப்பு ஒரு பிரதான முன்னுரிமையாக இருந்தாலும் முக்கியமான கட்டமைப்பு சீர்திருத்தங்களை நிறைவு செய்வதிலேயே முக்கிய கவனம் செலுத்தியுள்ளதாகவும் ஜனாதிபதி குறிப்பிட்டார். கனேடிய முன்னாள் பிரதமர் ஸ்டீபன் ஹாபருடனான சந்திப்பின் போது ஜனாதிபதி ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க இதனை தெரிவித்தார். ஜூன் 19 மற்றும் 20 ஆகிய திகதிகளில் லண்டனில் நடைபெற்ற சர்வதேச ஜனநாயக ஒன்றியத்தின் 40வது ஆண்டு விழாவின் போது இந்த கலந்துரையாடல் நடைபெற்றது. சுற்றுச்சூழல் சவால்கள், பொருளாதார முன்னேற்றம் மற்றும் தேசிய பாதுகாப்பு ஆகியவை சிக்கலான தலைப்புகளாக மாறியுள்ள தற்போதைய காலகட்டத்தில் காலநிலை மாற்றத்தை எதிர்கொள்வதில் பாதுகாப்பான மற்றும் வளமான உலகத்தை உருவாக்க எவ்வாறு ஒன்றிணைந்து செயல்படுவது என்பது பற்றி ஆராய உலக தலைவர்கள் இந்த ஆண்டு ஒன்று கூடியிருந்தனர். ஸ்டீபன் ஹாபர் எழுப்பிய கேள்விகளுக்கு பதிலளித்த ஜனாதிபதி ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க, ஜனாதிபதி பொறுப்பை ஏற்றுக்கொண்டமை நாட்டின் பொருளாதாரத்தை மீள கட்டியெழுப்ப அமல்படுத்தப்பட்ட கொள்கை வேலைத்திட்டம் மற்றும் சர்வதேச நாணய நிதியத்தின் மூலம் முன்னெடுக்கப்படும் வேலைத்திட்டம் என்பது தொடர்பில் விரிவாக கருத்து தெரிவித்தார்.
How long do you think it will be? You've got a mammoth agreement now. How long till Sri Lanka is kind of back to a reasonable growing economy? What's the time frame? Because as you know, tough medicine, people can't take that for very long. So how long till things are back on the rails?
We have to get a major foreign exchange sources turning again. Firstly, is the remittances from abroad, which had come down, it seems to be restoring. More and more money is coming every month. Second, it's going to be tourism next year, going to be one. The problem is going to be export, especially apparel, since the European economy is down and the US is down. Basically, apparel export this quarter is down to about 25%. It's not only Sri Lanka, Bangladesh is also affected. So the prosperity of the Western economy is determined. But I think by end of 2024, we'll be back to normal. The funding agencies will all get in and help us once the debt restructuring is over. I plan to finalize the debt restructuring by September. As I go back, the Parliament will vote on Sri Lanka's debt restructuring strategy once that is on. But what I want to completely liberalize, the structural reforms are being done. Go ahead, immediately liberalize the economy and then ensure that more investments come into Sri Lanka. In the long term, you need investments to shift the balance of trade in your favor. So might as well start that now. But I am confident by 2024 we'll have much control.
And in the end, what you're saying is, I think, a message for all of us. Obviously, less serious economic problems in our countries, but challenges nevertheless. The only way out, really long term, is a private sector-led, market-oriented.
Market-oriented, trade-integrated growth strategy. That's all that's available. I don't think there's any other solution. Cannot be for thousands of years, so why should it come?
Well, Winston Churchill, as you know, famously said that all systems of government are terrible except for democracy, and we constantly see in our populations that, they've got to try socialism, protectionism, corporatism, populism until they finally discover that conservatism is actually the only way to grow the economy. Let me change topics, though. Because obviously a lot of the discussion here is global affairs, foreign policy. Truth of the matter is, although we're a diverse group, overwhelmingly we represent the global north. You're from the global south. Given where you are in the world, given that position, Where do you see the future of Sri Lanka's foreign policy? What are its strategic allies and what are the risks it faces in the next decade?
Sri Lanka's strategic allies in Asia mainly would be the southern Asian countries. We also reach out to the Middle East. India, Japan, China would be the key, and ASEAN with the three strategic allies. And then Australia also, with whom we have relations since independence. In the West, we look at Europe and the UK and the Commonwealth countries. So that will be the numbers we are dealing with. South Africa is dealing with some of East African countries.
And in a world where, partly due to trade pressures, COVID, especially now the war in Ukraine, we see a growing polarization or conflict between the United States and its allies and China and its allies. Where does a country positioned where you are at the level of economic development you are, where do you see yourselves fitting and how do you navigate that kind of a world?
We will basically will take the position of the global south and of Asia that both US and China are necessary. Both the Indo-Pacific and the Belt and Road Initiative plus the ASEAN outlook on Indo-Pacific. All three we are committed to. The rise of China has led to the rise of Asia. So our success depends on ensuring that China's economic development continues. But that's not enough for our part of the world. We need ASEAN and India. Given another 20-25 years, you'll see the growth of India and the ASEAN countries as well as the Middle East. So we've been able to balance ourselves. That's what small countries have to do. But we also value our relationship with US. Goes on. And we have open dialogue with them. We have no issue. Really, the Sri Lanka foreign policy has been not to allow militarization of Indian. But we have supported US from the very beginning of having a base in Yugoslavia. And now we are asking everyone to work with us. In Sri Lanka, I to be the chairman of IORA to ensure freedom of navigation in the Indian Ocean. But we also stand for freedom of navigation in the Pacific. And the three main issues have to be resolved. It can't be done by one group dominating over the others. China must sit down with the ASEAN countries and resolve those key issues. There has to be a reduction of tension, East and Sea, and finally a reduction of tension again on the island. So we've committed ourselves.
I want to dig a little deeper on the China question.
Yeah.
And I hear this all the time in Asia that, America's important for our security, China's development's critical to our economy, we have to navigate both. And obviously, Chinese investment, Chinese business has been important for Sri Lanka. On the other hand, from what I can see, big problems with the debt obligations that China has left. Just tell a comment on that.
China was the largest creditor, bilateral creditor. The largest creditors are the private investors. China was hesitant of how they were going to handle the debt restructure. They took time. While the US came up with Japan the first, India had touched with the 3.5 billion loan. We utilized about 2.5 billion, and US came up. So with that, we started moving. We got the Paris Club. We had India and China outside. Then India joined the Paris Club. Meantime, we were talking with the Chinese, got more complicated because of the party conference in November. But at the end of it, they said, no, we are going to help you, we will be with you. Then Sri Lanka, we had discussed it earlier with the IMF, we suggested the common platform. India joined the platform, China did it. So China attended as an observer of the meeting on the common platform, and they said they also have bilateral discussions with us, but more than us, they are having bilateral discussions with the IMF. So IMF keeps all parties informed, we keep all parties informed. At the moment, I would say both China, the platform creditors and China are working, but it took time, and I do not know how this will work with the other debtors. In the case of Sri Lanka, we had a good relationship with China, with the others, but when it comes, so you have to come up with some mechanism, and as we were speaking about that, they are in Paris.
I'm going to ask you two other questions, then we're running a bit behind. But I do want to ask you, because it's such an important point of discussion here, once again, from a very different global south perspective, and your country has had important trade relations with both Ukraine and Russia. Tell us how you see that and what you want to have happen.
Well, most of the global south again have kept out of this war. You all have taken a very strong stand. Part of ASEAN is also, some of them are working, most of them are neutral, but some of them have voted with the resolution. No, our worry has been from the very beginning that we should not have come to this level. Could have been sorted out one way or another. And we want to ensure that the conflict will not expand, that the conflict can be settled. We are quite worried about it. As one of the others said, every major war has started in Europe. Let's not spill it out here. Our commitment is here. We are committed to the sovereignty of Ukraine. There is no question on that. It's how are we going to resolve it. And Russia can have setbacks, it can have defeat, but you can't finally get into Russia. So that's the truth. So we would like, I know you still have different views, but in the south it is, let's contain it and then see how it can be brought to close. In that way, we welcome the visit of Secretary Blinken to Beijing. President Ramaphosa has led a delegation into Russia and Ukraine, but we want to see the end of hostilities. We are not seeing the end of war. There will be negotiations, it will take time, but a lot of the countries are affected with fuel and with food. That's very hard on the African countries, especially, so we will follow on with them.
One last question, Ramo. So under your predecessor regime, you had talk about war, you had civil war, you had insurgency in Sri Lanka. And, we all know that the predecessor regime, the Rajapaksa's, ended it, but at great cost and with great lingering divisions. Given all the challenges, how do you promote reconciliation between the Tamil community and the country as a whole?
When I was the Prime Minister, I started the process. So I'm continuing from where I left out. I'm speaking with the members of Parliament representing the Tamil area. We have come to agreements on many issues. On the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the legislation is being drafted. On the new anti-terrorist law is being presented to Parliament. There are three major issues on which there are differences between the government and opposition, two of which have been resolved. The third one finally has to be resolved by court as what is the definition of terrorism. I mean, there were so many views on it, I said let the court decide to do along whatever is said. There was a question of land being acquired to the Tamils in the north and the east. Land issue has been settled. Missing persons office are taking steps to utilize it. We will be going along on these issues. Finally, devolution and come up with a solution, which I will put to the Tamil party end of the year. We will complete the whole process by end of July.